In a recent video, I said this.
Fish are super underrated for being really cool.
So here are some more underrated fish that I think are actually super cool. Number one, basking sharks. They don't get as big as whale sharks, but they do get significantly bigger than I thought, reaching up to 40 feet long, which is ridiculous. As are their mouths. More ridiculous looking than whale sharks, I think. Number two, staying on the theme of fish that are probably a lot bigger than you realized, ocean sunfish. Holy Plus, they look like they got cut in half, like this is only like the head or something, so even for looking like they're only half a fish, how are they as big as they are? Ridiculous. Oh, also, these guys have bones, unlike basking sharks and whale sharks. And while the sunfish is the heaviest bony fish, the title for the longest fish with bones goes to the rare and beautiful giant oarfish, with the largest recorded being like 25 feet long, about 8 meters. There were reports of much, much larger oarfish, but those turned out actually to be from the carcasses of basking sharks. Because basking sharks can look really weird after they die and start to decompose, and not very much like basking sharks if you don't know what you're looking at. This one you might be familiar with is a very famous one, which was mistakenly thought by some to be like a Loch Ness Monster kind of deal, like a plesiosaur. But it's a basking shark, or was a basking shark. But the reason it looks like this is because when basking sharks die and start to decompose, they lose a lot of the flesh on the underside of their head, which would have been like down under here. And now that that's gone, it gives the rotting corpse a sort of elongated look to it. Okay, let's do a bunch of smaller ones rapid fire. Lionfish. Yeah, I know you've probably seen this before, but have you really looked at it? Look at that thing. Wow. Ridiculous. They're venomous, by the way. Fish number 5, flounder. Oh yeah, Milo, I know this one. It's just the fish that has both eyes on one side of its head. It has both eyes on one side of its head. I know you know what it is, but look at it. Really actually look at it for the first time. What? And baby, they were not born this way. They start with an eye on each side of their head and swim around like a normal fish, and then slowly as they mature, one of their eyes starts to migrate over to the other side of their head, at which point they begin their life as predatory ocean floor fish pancakes. And which eye migrates depends on the species. It's not always the same eye. What? I just feel like fish aren't supposed to look like that. It's too weird. Speaking of, rays are basically shark pancakes. Well, except for angel sharks are already the real shark pancakes. That would be this fella. Say hello. But anyway, manta ray size? Look at how enormous this majestic sea pancake is. Incredible. Okay, I know you know about anglerfish already, but I'm going to explain them again to you right now as though it were the first time. Okay, so you ready? Have you ever heard of an anglerfish before? Yes? No, you haven't. Remember, you're wiping your mind clear of anglerfish so that I can explain it to you for the first time, again, now that you're an adult lacking a sense of wonder because you've become accustomed to things that you think are normal because you never actually think about them, but if you did think about them, you would realize that they're totally wild and insane and amazing. Okay? So you ready now? Okay. Have you ever heard of an anglerfish before? No? Wonderful. I'm going to ruin your entire day. Or maybe the opposite, I don't know. So they don't all look like this, because they don't all live in the deep ocean, but the ones that most people know of do, because they're the ones that look the most, absolutely insane. Some of them almost look like they could just be like a face from a full orc or a goblin or something, but then instead of having like a neck and torso and arms and legs, it's just like a normal fish body. It's so weird. So they're mostly a head, which in turn is mostly a mouth, and they have the stalk coming out of their forehead that they can dangle in front of said mouth, and it glows in the dark so that little fish go, oh, that looks pretty, I'm gonna go check it out, and then they die. Because look at that mouth. Also, pretty much any anglerfish that you see is a female because the males are super tiny, and when they find a female, they will permanently attach themselves to the much larger females, causing fusion of the two of their tissues together, even leading to the establishment of a shared circulatory system, basically becoming like one big super double organism thing. So, monogamous icons. It's a pretty good reminder that the individuals in a population that are best at reproducing are more likely to do so more frequently, therefore making the next generation of the individuals in that population also more effective at reproducing, and on, which basically makes the automatic goal of evolution reproductive success. And when that's the case, and when you have life that has been happening for hundreds of millions of years, you're bound to stumble into some, unconventional ways of achieving that goal. And some of those will turn out to be surprisingly effective, and therefore they'll stick around. Like if you're an anglerfish and the females and males rarely meet because they're small, there's not that many of them, and they live in a vast open ocean. So when one happens to find a mate, You hold on and don't let go. As two quick bonus fish, first, hagfish are a lineage of vertebrates that evolved to no longer have a vertebral column. Why would you do that? Oh, because now they can tie themselves into knots to squeeze out some incredibly thick mucus to discourage their potential enemies, of course. And let me be the first to say I see that, and I am discouraged. So, well done, I guess. And lastly, there are electric eels, which are eels that are electric. Sure. And of course, there are just so many more incredible fish, like the largest fish ever, which was an apex predator that ate whales. But I think that deserves its own video. Now, with all this being said, I am not remotely a fish expert, so this is just the list that I could come up with off the top of my head, and none of these are even remotely that niche. So if you want more awesome fish content, I will recommend to you Jay's videos. And if y'all know of cool fish that I don't know, let me know.